Douglas Wood was an American actor of stage and screen during the first 6 decades of the 20th century. Born on Halloween 1880, his mother, Ada Jeffries, was a stage actress. During the course of his career, Wood would appear in dozens of Broadway productions, and well over 100 films. Towards the end of his career, he would also make several guest appearances on television. Wood died in 1966. Early career on Broadway. Wood would make his Broadway acting debut in the revival of a pair of plays being produced at the Garden Theatre, Cyrano de Bergerac and Beau Brummel. Over the next 30 years he would appear in dozens of plays on the Great White Way. He was in the original production of Du Barry, written, directed, and produced by David Belasco, which had a successful run in 1901 too. After appearing in several plays with short runs, he was in another successful play from 1904, The College Widow, written by George Addy and directed by George Marion, again at the Garden Theatre. In 1910 he appeared in the role of Mark Antony in a repertory production of Julius Caesar at the Garden. In 1913 he began a successful run of The Family Cupboard, by the Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright Owen Davis, which ran until 1915. He starred in the musical Maytime, produced by Leon J.J. Schubert, and written by Rita Johnson Young, who also wrote the words to music composed by Sigmund Romberg. The show ran for almost 500 performances at 5 different theaters from 1917-18. He followed this with another young hit, Little Old New York, which ran during 1920 and 1921 at Plymouth Theatre. Other hits Wood appeared in included Give and Take, written by Aaron Hoffman, the 1924 John Henry Mears production, Sweet 17, the 1927 musical, Bye Bye Bonnie, which was also notable as the first Broadway role for Ruby Keeler, and The Good Fairy, produced and directed by Gilbert Miller, and performed in the theatre named after Miller's father, which also starred Helen Hayes. After another successful run in the musical comedy Take a Chance at the Apollo Theatre, which ran from 1932-33, and starred Ethel Merman, Wood would take a 25-year hiatus from the Broadway stage, and devote his creative talents to Hollywood. Broadway performances: Beau Brummel, Cyrano de Bergerac. 12 months later, Du Barry, Dorothy Vernon of Haddon Hall, The Triumph of Love, Love's Pilgrimage, The College Widow, Brown of Harvard, The Village Lawyer, A Woman of Impulse, The Bridge, Julius Caesar, Mrs. Bumpstead Lee, The Greyhound, The Family Cupboard, Poor Little Thing, The Rented Earl, Maytime, Little Old New York, Marie Antoinette, Wild Oats Lane, Give and Take, The Wild Westcotts, Sweet 17, Milgram's Progress, Trelawney of the Wells, The Half-Naked Truth, Sandalwood, Bye Bye Bonnie, Madam X, Gods of the Lightning, The Old Rascal, Marseille, She Means Business, The Good Fairy, Take a Chance, Jane Eyre. Film and television. At the end of 1933, Wood began work on his first film, with a supporting role in David Butler's comedy, Bottoms Up, starring Spencer Tracy. The following year he would originate the role in Talking Pictures of Wopsle in Stuart Walker's 1934 production of Great Expectations. Over the next 20 years he would appear in over 125 films, mostly in smaller and supporting roles. In 1937 he would appear in a small role in Maytime, the sound version of the 1910s play in which he had starred. Other notable films in which he appeared include Two Against the World, starring Humphrey Bogart, the Abbott and Costello vehicle, Buck Privates, Here Comes Mr. Jordan, starring Robert Montgomery, Evelyn Keyes, and Claude Rains, Howard Hawks' 1941 classic, Sergeant York, starring Gary Cooper, and The Adventures of Mark Twain, starring Frederick March. Filmography: The Fountain, Bottoms Up, College Rhythm, The Trumpet Blows, Great Expectations, A Night at the Ritz, The Wedding Night, Dangerous, Special Agent, Love in Bloom, Spring Tonic, College Scandal, The Great Impersonation, The President Vanishes, The Prisoner of Shark Island, Hearts in Bondage, Pigskin Parade, Navy Born, Two in a Crowd, Dracula's Daughter, Wedding Present, Parole, Two Against the World, This Is My Affair, Great Guy, On the Avenue, Guns of the Picos, West of Shanghai, Born Reckless, Dangerously Yours, Alibaba Goes to Town, Submarine D1, Maytime, Over the Goal, Married Before Breakfast, The Beloved Brat, Gold Is Where You Find It, Kentucky, Mannequin, Three Loves Has Nancy, Sergeant Murphy, I Am the Law, Eternally Yours, Juarez, They All Come Out, 20,000 Men a Year, Off the Record, It Could Happen to You, Sudden Money, East Side of Heaven, Elsa Maxwell's Public Debno, 1, Waterloo Bridge, Babies for Sale, The Man Who Talked Too Much, Dr. Ehrlich's Magic Bullet, Private Affairs, The Man Who Wouldn't Talk, Blossoms in the Dust, Buck Privates, Glamour Boy, HM, Pullum, ESQ, Here Comes Mr. Jordan, Honky Tonk, In the Navy, $1 Million Baby, She Knew All the Answers, Small Town Deb, Love Crazy, Sergeant York, Blondie's Blessed Event, Murder in the Big House, Parachute Nurse, They All Kissed the Bride, We Were Dancing, Crazy House, The Goodfellows, Hers to Hold, It's a Great Life, The More the Merrier, Never a Dull Moment, She's for Me, Slightly Dangerous, What a Woman, The Amazing Mrs. Holiday, Stand By for Action, I'm from Arkansas, Meet Miss Bobby Sox, They Live in Fear, The Adventures of Mark Twain, The Big Show Off, Boston Blackie Booked on Suspicion, Edie Was a Lady, Patrick the Great, The Stork Club, One Way to Love, Because of Him, Cinderella Jones, Do You Love Me, Dragon Wyke, The Missing Lady, Night Editor, So Goes My Love, Tomorrow is Forever, Blondie's Big Moment, The Fabulous Texan, Fun on a Weekend, Her Husband's Affairs, It Had to Be You, Little Miss Broadway, My Wild Irish Rose, Two Blondes and a Redhead, Welcome Stranger, The Senator Was Indiscreet, I Surrender Dear, An Old-Fashioned Girl, Adventure in Baltimore, The Judge Steps Out, Shamrock Hill, Streets of San Francisco, Border Outlaws, Harriet Craig, The Petty Girl, Cattle Queen, Rhubarb, Francis Covers the Big Town, No Man's Land, That Certain Feeling, Late Career and Death. During the 1950s, Wood appeared in a handful of pictures, mostly B-films. During the early and mid-1950s, Wood make several guest appearances on several television series, including The Lone Ranger, Fireside Theater, and Topper. His final screen performance would be in a small role in That Certain Feeling, starring Bob Hope, Eva Marie Saint, and George Sanders. In 1958, Wood returned to the Broadway stage with a supporting role in Jane Eyre. It would be his final acting performance. Wood died on January 13, 1966 in the Woodland Hills area of Los Angeles, California.